What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today, as you can see, we are talking about Dark Souls crossing over with none other than Warhammer 40K. That would be my dream collaboration, having From Software work on this IP that we all know and love to create a game of epic proportions. Now, that pretty much is never going to happen because FromSoft has been busy working on Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring, when are you gonna come out? But anyway, going into the actual meat and potatoes of the video, I wanted to talk about how well 40K can mix with not just the lore aspect, but the gameplay mechanics of Dark Souls. So, let's jump right into this video. The atmosphere. The first clip that you guys saw is dark fantasy, and that can easily be twisted to become grim dark horror. 40K can easily have elements of fantasy with it, as well as dark fantasy and grim darkness. I don't know how to put this, because I want to say 40K is grimdark. It's supposed to be grimdark. That's where its origins kind of stemmed from. But currently, with the animations and like the drawing style and freaking Warhammer adventures, it's straying vastly from its roots. Looking at the Blanjitsu style of art, that kind of takes you to a more darker tone. But not just that, but the whole lore aspect of like chaos, the demon Kulaba, things out in space that you don't know exactly what's out there. And it's just like this element of fear of the unknown and fear of the Xenos, the heretic. All that can work wonders with the grim, nitty-gritty darkness of Dark Souls. And it's very atmospheric to be, traveling within a dungeon, and then you step outside to see a blossoming landscape. That could be really easily implemented into 40K. You could be deep within the hive of Necromunda or some other hive city, and then you come out and you see the palace of the High Lords, and now you've got to make your way within the corridors, maze-like corridors for that matter, to get your prey. You could be an assassin trying to assassinate a High Lord. You could be just a regular gang member of a hive gang trying to assassinate the leader of a rival gang, and that in and of itself could be a very entertaining story. However, I would prefer it to be one of epic proportions. More so a Space Marine, because, that's the most popular faction of any of the factions in 40K, and it's the most well-known to the IP of Warhammer. So be it the Poster Boys, the Ultramarines, or any other faction, you could easily see the Space Marine being kind of slow, cumbersome, heavy, but with the weight of your attacks, you're going to be doing damage. Similar to how the early iterations of the Souls series were. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 and 2. Those focus on kind of, I'm not going to say slow combat, but slower type combat, focusing on rolls to dodge or using your board and sword to, block damage. That could easily be implemented. You could be a Space Marine wielding a chainsword, power sword, and have a thunder hammer or a storm shield on your other hand to block incoming damage. I could easily see Space Marines rolling out of the way. It's not, it's not to the point of the new Dawn of War where you have Terminator hammer or Terminators wielding Terminator armor doing freaking backflips and front flips. Like, that's just insane. But yeah, easily the combat could be grounded, very simplified, but still, that if you hit with a Space Marine, it's gonna do damage, usually killing most things in 1 or 2 hits. Now, within most Souls games, you have the opportunity to wield magic. Magic can easily manifest into warp powers with the 40k theme to it. You could be a Grey Knight who wields a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield, running up against, hordes of Khorne. But when it gets tough, know that you have Holy Lightning to throw at them, or you can buff yourself with other spells. It's all there. It could be Smite, like it's right there. Like you don't have to work too hard to make this genre fit and work with the 40k thematics. Now, if you wanted to take it maybe a step further and implement your main character into any other race, that would be amazing. Look at the combat style for Bloodborne. A lot more fast-paced, and it really emphasizes attacking more than blocking and dodging. You want to be aggressive when you're playing Bloodborne, because when you take damage, the way to recuperate some of that damage back is to keep on attacking. So that easily fits the mindset of like a Khorne Berserker, or that fast play style can be used by playing a Dark Eldar and Eldari. That way you still retain the ability to use psychic powers, but still be quick on your feet, able to deal a lot of blows in a short amount of time. Now, when it comes to long-range weaponry, that can also be another fighting style, since you do have access to bow and arrows, crossbows, and in Bloodborne, guns. So that could be a thing if you wish to play the long game with a Tau Fire Warrior, or maybe you're playing a Devastator Space Marine, and you're just pumping out las gun shots or las cannon shots. Now, of course, it's going to deal a lot of damage, but the downside is that you're slow, or maybe you have to be stationary to fire. So there's a lot of things to think about, a lot of give and take. Daggers are really quick. Just use the combat blades for a Space Marine to get in there, do a lot of damage quick, and get out. Wait for your stamina to recover. And speaking of stamina, we've got a great healing system with like the Estus flasks and kind of managing your own stats. That can be a whole thing to kind of think about. Do you want your Space Marine to be extra tough? Maybe as your Space Marine progresses, eventually you have the option to undergo the Primaris effects. So you're crossing the Rubicon, you're going to upgrade your character and become a Primaris Marine, and maybe all the points you've accumulated have now been used to get that Primaris and to basically restat your character to become a new, more powerful being. That would be cool. So like half of the game you start as regular Space Marine, and then midway through you undergo the process and you reallocate your stats. Maybe you want to be stronger, faster, stamina, health. Maybe you want to be better at psychic powers. Then you use that, and it could really turn the tide, because as you continue on with the game, then you start fighting more powerful opponents. PvP can also be a thing. Have different factions, such as like in the Soulsborne series, you have like covenants. You can join like the Way of the Blue, the Sanguine Covenant. That can easily be, I want to be a Blood Angel. I want to be a Farsight warrior from the Fire Warriors, the Enclaves. That can be a whole thing in and of itself, and I mean, it's there. The more I talk about it, it just sounds so simple, so easy to implement. But of course, you have all the IP issues, and like FromSoft has already have their hands full and whatnot. But a game that focuses more so on combat, that would be really interesting. Because another theory that other people have been wanting is that they want a fighting game for Warhammer 40K, which I don't necessarily know that translates too well. Because of course we all know that Space Marines are expert fighters, and I can't just see like a Space Marine going toe to toe with a Tau, and like the Tau coming out on top. It's like, yeah, it could be like an ethereal, maybe Anshi. He's got a little bit more like he's more suited for combat since he's taken down hordes of orcs. But going up against a Space Marine, yeah, I don't know if like a Street Fighter-esque fighting game really fits the theme, the aesthetic of Warhammer 40K. But Dark Souls, that works perfectly. Now, of course, if you're not going to go that route, I think the whole style of like God of War, that really works really well with trying to fit a story for a Space Marine and going up against into the warp, fighting against demons, fighting against champions of chaos gods such as the Nurgles, bloated ones, Scarbrand, Be'lakor. That would be amazing to see that type of adventure. Maybe you're on a penitent crusade and that's why you've entered the warp, and as you do this you're fighting all these like horrors and whatnot. Doom would be another great example, since you're fighting demons. But yeah, a week ago I talked about how Spellbreak, a battle royale, could essentially work with 40k. You start off as a cultist, the more kills you get, you ascend to a Space Marine. You get to pick your faction, like if you're Khorne, you're good in close combat. If you're Slanesh, the more damage you take, the faster and deadlier you become. If you're Nurgle, you have more life, more health. And if you're Tzeentch, you can use magic abilities. And then once you've ascended, you go from Cultist to Chaos Space Marine to Greater Demon. And then you have a freaking all-out battle between Greater Demons to see which god comes out on top. That'd be another thing too, but what I want to know is what type of genre do you think 40k would work best with? Obviously, we have many games to look at, because good 40k games are few and far between. The original Dawn of War, Space Marine, I think those are probably the better of 40k games we have to offer, but there are other games that are going to be coming out, such as Dark Tide, the first-person shooter horror type game. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for that. I know the Necromunda game came out recently. I saw a few trailers and a little bit of gameplay into it, but Necromunda never really interested me, so I kind of just passed on this game. But if it's good, hey, let me know. And for Spooktober, I do plan on having a few gameplays on Dead Space. Because Dead Space is one of those games that you could easily just put a 40k skin on it and that's it. You're basically going into a Space Hulk and fighting off like Xeno-infested people, or it could be a demon incursion that has turned these people into these necromorphs. So stay subscribed for that, guys. And again, let me know what games would work really well to have that 40k skin slapped right on it. And that's all I got for today. Can't wait to read your responses down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of OneMindSyndicate, and I'll catch you then. Peace.